It's a Friday. And the light just turned off. So I had to reposition everything because the light turned off, because it's a motion censored light. And yeah, that is totally going to be part of my intro. I'm hoping having the mic will make the echo less awkward. I don't know. Good morning. It's been a week, more or less, since my last video. I don't want to say that I have nothing to talk about. I have tons of stuff to talk about, but I don't like being redundant. I don't like being repetitive. I don't like repeating the same thing again and again. And of course, there are some people who are watching this video who will say, don't you do that anyway? Not always. I try not to be repetitive. Like last year, apparently I said a story 3 times to a group, but it was very hard for me to remember which group I had told the story to because the groups were split in 2. So did I say it to the A class or did I say it to the B class? And I couldn't remember. No, what I'm going to talk about today is, I think, a feeling that is shared by a lot of people. If you see me stretch, it's because I'm trying to get my bag and I'm trying to unpack and multitask and set up for my class. So I was talking with a colleague of mine from the English department, English social science department, and she said that, first of all, the change and the being in a new school, and I'm not naming her to protect her identity, has really taken a toll on her. And I'm paraphrasing, those were not the exact words. But for the first time in 15 years, she didn't feel like starting the school here. Not gonna lie, I've been there before, so I kind of understand that feeling. I kind of appreciate that feeling. I'm not saying I'm in that same position. But I find that recently, I've been having trouble getting the ball rolling. I mean, I'm going through the motions, but I can't seem to get a groove. I can't seem to get momentum. And I'm wondering if it's because we started a week later than expected, that it has an impact on our collective momentum. Like yesterday we had a school-wide event. It was Orange Shirt Day, and it was good. But it could have been more. It could have been more. Now, I don't want to put all the burden on my shoulders because I'm not alone in this school. I'm not the only person who's running events. But I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people, maybe not just in my department, but in other departments, had that feeling of, I would have loved to have done something more, but I'm just trying to get my bearings. And to some extent, I agree with them. When you start the school year with events and activities, they need to have been prepared the year before. You cannot wait until August to plan these activities and plan these events. They have to be set in place and established, and at least some kind of general outline done in June. So I have to tell myself to be happy and to be satisfied and content with what has been done, but looking forward to the future and saying to myself, I am going to make it a point in May, start planning out next year's event. And I know there are always some who will say, could we just have like summer vacation and just chill? And I get it, but you can't wait until 3 weeks prior to plan this, especially when it's the start of the school year. It is much too chaotic. It's much too I don't want to say unexpected. Everybody expects the start of the school year, kind of like the Spanish Inquisition. Everybody expects the start of the new school year. But because it is so intense, you meet your students, you establish contacts with your students, with your parents, you're getting used to new surroundings, new routines potentially. You cannot expect to have all the energy you need to run and plan those special events. At the same time, hey, teach and connect with your students and make sure that they get the year off to a good start. Maybe once upon a time I could have done that, but I'm not the same Madame la Prof I was 10, 15 years ago. So that being said, what I try to do to give myself some sense and to not lose myself in the minutia or get lost in activities or tasks that have nothing to do with what I need to do, is that I've got to-do lists. I know. Some people will say, oh, well, you have to try this fantastic online agenda. Yeah, I'm a bit old school in that respect. Maybe some people will talk about a certain type of intelligence, I like having that in front of me, manipulating my to-do list. I've tried the virtual to-do list. I failed horribly. Didn't work. So I don't want to just say, oh, I can't organize myself because, I don't know how to use the virtual organizer or agenda. But I have my own agenda that I work on a daily basis. And I know a lot of people will say, a lot of teachers will say, you're not supposed to work after hours. You know what? When there was a lot of talk about that last year, about working to rule, now, I respect that. I am not saying that you need to work all the time. That is not what I'm saying. But in order for me to minimize any risk of an anxiety attack and a panic attack and a return to how I was back in 2016 and 2017, I need to manage my work when I have the energy to do so. So it does mean sometimes doing work at home. So yes, I do look over my agenda daily. Sometimes I don't because I'm tired, but I don't feel guilty when I don't. I don't feel guilty because I'm not pressured in doing that work. I am doing it because I am in control, and I'm doing it because it's to prevent unpleasantness. It's a polite way of putting it. So, and the to-do lists are things that I don't necessarily put in my academic agenda. Like the academic agenda, for instance, it's still a bit empty. But like my academic agenda, I'll take the page for today. I have, the classes that I see, they're all color-coded, and I write down the stuff that happens during the day. It's not quite like what I need to do, which is the to-do list. The to-do list has all the other stuff that I need to do, which sometimes is as specific as doing the groceries, doing the laundry, cleaning the house, things that have nothing to do with school. But because I have to take care of that, and it could be as detailed, as specific, like down to like the little, like pack fork and knife so you can stop using the plastic forks and knives at school. It could be something as stupid as that. But it has to be specific, so that way, when I look at my agenda when I wake up or my to-do list, that's like, I need to do that. So I'm not saying that this is the best way to organize yourself. I'm not saying that at all, because you might have a system that works for you. You might still be looking for a system that works for you. There are people who use different systems, and that's okay. Because the moment you impose a system on someone, and it's not meaningful to them, therein lies the problem. For success to happen, the goal must be meaningful, yes. The tools must be meaningful too. And without like spending another 10 minutes talking about tools that students use, whatever you use in class has to be meaningful to students. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the workbooks these days for French, it's not very meaningful for students. It's hard for them to relate to the content in those workbooks, which is why I always try and find something extra, current events, stuff that they can understand and relate to. So that's pretty much it, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Rest up, stay safe, do what you love, be creative, and I will see you very, very soon.